welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, Jon Jordan. So in this video I am playing Brave Frontier Heroes, which is the new game from My Crypto Heroes, or it's from the My Crypto Heroes developer, and then it kind of takes the IP, the characters of Brave Frontier, which is a very popular mobile RPG in Japan. So I have kind of logged in and I have kind of played the game before, but it's still kind of early, and I think it's still kind of interesting to try and explain kind of what I think about this game. So it is actually available on at least on the Google Play Store as a mobile download, although I think that is just like a wrapper for a browser-based game. I think it's basically a browser game. Obviously, I'm playing this on a browser. I have logged in with MetaMask. What's interesting is it doesn't appear that the game has learnt very much from My Crypto Heroes, which is a fairly inaccessible game, although in recent months has got a bit better in terms of a user experience. My Crypto Heroes is a game pretty popular, but very focused on the Japanese audience. And obviously this is an English version, so they have versions of My Crypto Heroes and Brave Frontier Heroes in English. But the majority of people playing this game are Japanese, and it has this very strong Japanese ethos, I think. And this is the homepage. So this is, you can kind of see already, this is kind of like a lot of information. So I mean, the one thing we can see here is my party. So although I have connected with my Ethereum wallet, none of this stuff is blockchain items. So these are just kind of centralized game assets, as any typical non-blockchain game would hold them. There's a lot of information here talking about a daily lottery, and there's some news here about they had a problem with something that they have just fixed. So, okay, fair enough. You can see at the top of the screen here there's some energy. Oh, you can see at the top of the screen here there's some energy, and there's also this, which is the in-game currency. So the in-game currency is called Zell. So you can buy this Zell. This is, again, not a cryptocurrency. This is just a centralized in-game currency, but I can buy it with ETH. And there's this kind of 4% chance that I'll get 50% of my ETH back if I do that, and extra 20% because the game's just launched. So kind of fair enough, but it's not really clear, what you'd be using that for at the moment. So let's come back out of here, go back to the home, and let's actually do something in the game. So quests. So this is kind of broadly similar. If you've played My Crypto Heroes, you have these quests, and basically they're just things you do to level up your characters. So obviously beginner is the kind of one for me. So I have my party. I've only got 3 characters. Already this is kind of getting quite complicated. All the kind of stuff that's in here, and it's going to use up 3 of my hearts. And it says departure spelled wrong. That's a small thing, but obviously, as I say, mainly Japanese game. So this is the game as much as there is a game. It is a typical Japanese grinding RPG, where the game is the meta game, really. You can see it's really designed for mobile in terms of the aspect ratio. So it's an auto play, so they'll just this will kind of tell you what's going on if you really care about it, which I don't. So I can hit the fast forward key, and it just, I go through and win. You see, that's saying 1 battle of 3, so there's going to be a whole bunch of battles. I'm just going to keep tapping, and hopefully it's going to go. I don't know what's happened there. Waiting for the website. So there is this actually quite slow loading time, which is not ideal again. Again, win. So basically what these characters are doing is leveling up. I mean, the game's just launched, so it should be too kind of mean about it, but this is, shouldn't be having all this kind of loading stuff, I don't think. You're not loading any complicated 3D graphics. I don't quite know why it's so complicated, but there we go. So that's all finished. And now, so we can see getting some XP and how much XP I need to level up the next time. I get a reward. I get this famous blade, which is an item in the game, obviously, which is what they call spheres, which is a bit confusing. And I've done it, and it kind of comes back again. So that's kind of pretty boring. There's an arena here, which doesn't seem to be working at the moment. So that's obviously some code. It's not loading properly. Not that I would be powerful enough. I'm, a newbie. So you can see these are my characters. Again, this is not very clear really what's going on here. my unit list. So this is in-game and out-of-game. So this is kind of getting into the idea of stuff that's on the blockchain and stuff that isn't. The in-game stuff is not blockchain. The out-of-game stuff I don't have any. But if I went to buy something that was on the blockchain, I could do that. There is another kind of complicated thing with My Crypto Heroes is because of the way it works, it uses a side chain. So even if you have an item on the blockchain, on the Ethereum blockchain, this runs on the Ethereum blockchain, you then have to kind of transfer it over. So there is this extra kind of friction, which most blockchain games don't have, which kind of makes it even more confusing, I think, for people. So my sphere list, this is the kind of items I've collected. So we can see I've got a lot of these Rep F swords. It's really odd that you don't seem to equip them. So in My Crypto Heroes, you kind of gain these things and then you actually equip them on specific characters. I don't know if you do that or not. No idea. I haven't found out how to do it. And you can kind of dump them, which you just get rid of them, which is again odd. So this is, I'm sure, just me being a bit dense. You can have different parties, which obviously doesn't matter because I haven't got any. And the most interesting thing is kind of a market aspect. So this is kind of why you want this Zell currency. So you can see if I had 56,610 Zell, then I could buy the Scythe God Alice. And you can see there's 12 of them. So as far as I know, I'm not sure if these are on the blockchain or not. Obviously, you're not spending cryptocurrency to buy them. You're spending this in-game currency. So you would kind of think probably they are not on the blockchain, but I don't know that. There's a Prime model. It's like a monthly subscription, which has been very popular on My Crypto Heroes. If you're going to play this properly, you would sign up to the Prime program because you get loads of all these rewards. Interestingly, you need to authenticate with your phone number. So I think they had some problems with My Crypto Heroes and kind of bots and that sort of thing. So I think they're trying to add this extra authentication in. So they're kind of locking, having phone number identification as an ID lock to a wallet. So you're not having loads of bots. I mean, obviously you can still bot stuff. You can create loads of phone numbers, I suppose. But that's just an extra mechanic. So I probably will do the Prime thing at some point. You can see exclusive Prime, first month only. I get this Godblade character. And you get access to different quests and stuff and PvP. There's an exchange, so this is kind of interesting. Again, this is not a blockchain thing, this is a centralized thing, but you can get XP by kind of burning items, using the items that you've kind of found. I think this is this kind of idea of, so I can sell my replica spheres. I don't seem to have any, so I don't know what those other ones are that I've got. But I can sell my replica spheres, and I get this Zell currency out, and then I can use my Zell currency to buy XP. But it's not a fixed exchange rate. So you can see here it kind of goes up and down depending on what's going on. And this is also this is other characters selling. Other players, selling these characters. So we can see here, there's a different kind of pricing model going on here. Again, this is kind of interesting. That if we go here, we can see, actually it doesn't really show for this character, but let's see if we can find another one. It does show if there's been any trading. No, it's not showing them. If there's been any trading of the characters, you kind of get a little line. Oh, here we go. So we kind of see what the start price is and what the end price is, and there is other kind of things of, other ways of kind of looking. So that's kind of interesting. That's, in a sense, kind of what we want in a blockchain game. We want to get some idea of what's going on. Still not very clear to me. The blockchain aspect of this game is not very clear to me at all. Even less clear than My Crypto Heroes, which was fairly unclear. So I think it's interesting from that point of view that what it seems to me is that Brave Frontier Heroes is a game very, very much focused at the Japanese market again, and actually a very much tighter sort of marketplace. That it's much more focused on this Zell in-game currency. So it is a blockchain game, obviously, although I'm not quite sure how, other than using ETH to buy this in-game currency. I'm not really kind of quite sure how the NFT management system works here. But it seems to me that that's kind of been the focus of this game, is to make it less blockchain and more and more centralized, which I think probably helps for stuff like market management and issues with bots and stuff, which obviously can very quickly destabilize a marketplace if you don't have these controls in place. So interesting, very much a first kind of impressions of Brave Frontier Heroes. It's a game, you know, I probably will spend a bit more time trying to get into. It's been pretty successful in terms of its launch. It's already had about 2,000 players or daily active unique wallets over the first kind of week. So that's kind of interesting. That already makes it one of the most popular blockchain games. So it's always interesting to learn from new types of games and how they've approached it. And the developer, Double Jump Tokyo, is one of the more successful, more experienced game developers in using blockchain. So it's interesting from that point of view. It's very easy for me to say they've done these stupid things, but obviously I would imagine hopefully they've done them for a reason. So thanks for watching the video. Blockchain Gaming World is all about the world of blockchain games, so it's kind of what we focus on, this sort of thing, and thinking about particularly user experience and how blockchain games can go a bit broader, or very much more broader. I don't think this game particularly will be a massive success in terms of having hundreds of thousands of users. It's just too complex. But interestingly, could be more popular than Minecraft Heroes in Japan, I suppose. So thanks for watching. Any comments, please put them in the comments box. Please do subscribe. But thanks for watching the video, and hope to see you again soon.